Hi friends, how much does the whole set of Katar Artifact Heirlooms cost in Apex Legends right now? Lots of people have been questioning the true cost of this heirloom set, but I've not actually seen anyone work out the real cost. I've just seen people throwing out crazy numbers like $500 or $700, but are those figures accurate? Well, I thought we could work it out together in today's video so you get to know the truth. In terms of the Artifact Heirloom, there are 6 variants of the Katar Artifact that you can get your hands on in Apex Legends, and obviously each of those has a different colour scheme and variation on the original Cobalt Katar. I'll cover the cost of these variants first because they're the easiest to calculate. You need to use exotic shards to buy these, and there are 6 sets in total, but actually you only need to pay for 5 of these because the 6th set is the Nitrate set, which is given at no extra cost after you get all the other sets. 4 out of those 5 sets cost 50 exotic shards, which is roughly $38.99. So to get all 4 of those sets, you'll need 200 exotic shards. Now you can buy exotic shards in bundles of 110, which are more cost effective. They'll cost you $78.99 or £69.99 if you live in the UK. So if you add those together, those 4 sets will cost you about $157.98 or £139.98 if you live in the UK. By the way, you can save 10% if you have EA Play, which means you could save about $15 if you can get your hands on EA Play. Now I said that's the cost for the 4 variants. The cost for the Cobalt variant, which is the 5th variant you need to pay for, is actually a little bit cheaper at 40 exotic shards, and you'll see why in just a moment. That means you only need to buy 20 extra exotic shards at $9.99 or £8.99 per 10, in addition to the 2 bundles of 110 that you just bought, meaning that's an extra $19.98, and therefore so far you would have spent $177.96, or if in the UK that's about £157.96, and that will get you all of the variants of the Katar. The missing part is actually the part you're supposed to start with, because you won't be able to buy any of these variants without the base. Now the base Katar itself is a little harder to calculate because you can only get it using heirloom shards at the moment. This means the cost of the base Katar has a few different variances, so I thought the easiest way to do it is give you some price scenarios that show you the different totals it could end up costing you depending how you get your hands on that base Katar. So scenario 1 for the cost of the base Katar is essentially the fact that you can get heirloom shards in any normal Apex pack. Given you can earn enough Apex packs to guarantee heirloom shards through leveling up your account level to maximum level, we can class this first scenario as essentially saying you got those heirloom shards for free without spending a single penny, meaning your total cost is $177.96 if you want to get every variant of the Katar Heirloom, including the base and all of those 6 variations. So that's your first scenario. It's still going to cost you just under $200. Let's look at scenario 2 next. You could have bought the heirloom shards in the anniversary collection event either this year or in a previous year. That would have cost you about $129.97 without EA Play and without you using any crafting metals. In that scenario, if you add it together with the cost of all the variants, your total cost in scenario 2 for all of the Katar variants including the base would be $307.93. Let's move on to scenario 3. You might have bought the Cobalt Katar in the Shadow Society event last season. That would have cost you about $239.97 if you used the tips in my video that I gave you at the time. This would have given you the Cobalt components, so you wouldn't have actually had to spend the additional 40 exotic shards that I mentioned earlier in this video, meaning this method would have cost you about $377.97. Now isn't that interesting? It means if you bought the Cobalt Katar Heirloom in the collection event, it would have actually worked out more expensive. Isn't that crazy? It basically means buying the Cobalt Katar early has cost you a little bit of extra money, potentially up to $100 extra. Now there is one final scenario I thought I would take you through. This is kind of the unlucky scenario, and I would class this as more of an extreme version. But you know, to get heirloom shards, there is a 500 pack guarantee. Now in that scenario, let's say you want to buy 500 Apex packs to guarantee yourself an heirloom. That's going to cost you roughly $439.95 if you do it the efficient way of getting the 11,500 coin bundles. That means your total cost for all variants in this scenario would be $617.91. And there you have it. Those are essentially your 4 scenarios of how you could get every single variant of the Katar Heirloom. And I guess if you look at it across the board, if you're not clever with how you purchase this heirloom, you could actually end up spending close to that $700. Obviously, if you were clever, then you can see there are scenarios here, which mean you would end up paying closer to $200. That's the true cost of the Artifact Heirloom. And I think the moral of the story here is it's definitely not cheap. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.